This is Speaking of Pets podcast, where we offer you up-to-date, science-based, accurate information.
Oh, Gizmo! Good kitty. You're such a good kitty.
And they're looking up and howling in unison.
If it affects pets, we'll talk about it. The Speaking of Pets podcast is sponsored by Blue Buffalo Veterinary Diets. Love them like family, feed them like family. Hey everyone, welcome to Speaking of Pets. I'm Dr. Alice Novotny-Jeroman, a board-certified veterinary dermatologist, and
I'm Janet Novotny-King. I am the doctor's sister, and I am not board-certified medically trained in anything except CPR in humans. It's nice to have you today, and we have someone very, very special who's actually a two-timer. We're going to start giving out like those jackets they give out at the golf.
yeah, the green jacket.
The green jacket for multiple gifts. They're going to be scarlet and gray, and they're going to have Brutus Buckeye on. They're going to be tricked out. So really excited to have our special guest back. There he is,
Dr. Rustin Moore, Dean of the College of Veterinary Medicine of The Ohio State University. More importantly than that, father to dog dad to Travis, Tucker, and Teddy, and my new favorite book, Unleashing the Bond, which I already read on Kindle, but you can see I've dog-eared 1 million pages. Thank you, Dr. Moore, for sending it. Hey, it just came yesterday. Very timely. So I do want to say, this is like, anyone watching, I'm just saying, this is going to be a new gift for birthdays and Christmas. Oh. And Janet, and the reason is, not only does it tell you the fabulous, touching stories about how animals have touched people's lives, but one of the things I love, Dr. Rusty, is at the end of the book, there's a lot of veterinary advice. Traveling with your pet, don't let your pet walk on hot surfaces. That was a pleasant surprise. I really enjoyed that part.
But I want to know, what inspired you? How did this all start, and when, and who, what, when, and how?
Well, buckle your seatbelt. Back in the fall of 2015, the university put out a call for speakers for their TED Talk series, which was in the spring. And I really tried hard. I had just become the dean. I'd really tried hard to get at least a faculty member to submit, something to be possibly in that. And nobody had done it, and it was the night before. So I wrote an application and to discuss the power and importance of the human-animal bond.
Oh, wow.
And I ended up somehow getting selected. Then the hard work, then the work came. I mean, you wouldn't believe how many hours I spent on that for a 13 and a half minute TED Talk. And that was titled The Power of a Pet. And so that is still out there on the internet. People can go watch it. Well, in the fall of 23, I get an email from a gentleman named Eric Koester, Koester, who was the founder of a publishing company called Manuscripts Press. And he said, I saw your TED Talk. Now, remember, this is 7-8 years later. I saw your TED Talk, and I think you should turn it into a book. And I replied back very professionally and politely and said, thank you so much, but I don't have time and I'm not the right person to write this book. And that went back and forth about 3 times, and then he asked me to get on a Google call. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And he's pretty compelling, pretty convincing. Not only did he convince me to write it, but he convinced me to pay them to help me write it, meaning to do editing and stuff. So that's how it started. I never intended to write a book. Having said that, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've interviewed over 100 people. Their stories are so inspiring. I've learned a lot from research and other things. And I got so carried away that there's already book 2 in the process. It's actually in revisions editing now, probably be out by the end of the year.
It's a series.
It's called Unlocking the Bond, the Power and Paradox of Human-Animal Interactions.
Oh, I love the paradox.
Yeah, so we can talk more about that if you want later, but people always wonder what that means. So, I mean, what it means as it relates to the bond.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
isn't Dr. Stewart with Seamus in the second book?
Yes, Dr.
Our
Kim
classmate?
Stewart. There's a whole chapter dedicated to her and the work she does with Seamus as a search and rescue dog, because there's a series of chapters in one of the sections on working dogs, and so because of the incredible examples she gave me, I devoted an entire chapter to her.
Sure. Does anyone know, was Seamus just down with all the flooding in Texas? He had to have
Well,
been.
I texted Kim and said, "Are you
Yeah.
involved in rescue?" And she says, "Not yet. I'm currently in Ohio. I'm headed back today." So I don't know. I haven't followed up to see if she has since become involved or not.
Wow.
Yeah, she's from Talmadge, Janet.
Oh, tell me,
Dr.
Ohio,
Stewart is from
right.
Talmadge, yeah, I
So,
believe.
tell me about Rita Jean Wolfe, your dedication.
Rita Jean is as sweet as pie, or was. I met her probably 12 years ago ish, when her dog Isley, who was a Bernese Mountain Dog, ingested a corn cob and ended up having to have intestinal surgery here. The dog had not only one complication but two. The first one was there was some dehiscence or leakage from the site where they removed the foreign body. They went in a second time and fixed that. And then the dog developed pneumonia, which I think abscessed and then part of the lung ruptured. And it developed pneumothorax, which means air inside the chest but outside the lungs. So they had to go in and do a lung lobectomy.
Oh my.
He survived remarkably, and I got to know her through that. She and her sister Katie have been very loyal clients, very supportive. They both served on our college's Philanthropic Engagement Council. Her mother also has dogs and has been a loyal, client of the Veterinary Medical Center. And so when Rita got sick and then died of cancer at a young age of 56, the family, before she passed, so that they could tell her, they decided to do an endowed position. So the dean at the College of Veterinary Medicine is now called the Rita Jean Wolfe Endowed Deanship.
Oh, that's
And that
wonderful.
came with a significant endowed gift.
Aw. That's Rusty. When I was rereading the book last night to ask you some questions about it, I totally forgot about Odin, who was the first year, that was in 85, our first year of vet school. Would you mind telling Janet about Odin? We had I Love Odin buttons.
Oh, it's a dog?
Yes.
Yes.
Odin was a mixed breed, looked like probably a lab mix, black. Might have had a little white on him, can't remember.
Let's see if I can find it.
And he ended up developing renal failure. I think it was from antifreeze ingestion.
I think so,
And
yeah.
Oh, wow.
it's the first and maybe the only renal or kidney transplant we ever did here at Ohio State. And they located one of his litter mates, which I think they were were mixed breeds, and I think they were adopted out. But they were able to locate one of the litter mates who served as the donor, and he lived and did well.
Wow.
And back, Janet, in 85, a kidney transplant for dogs, it was
Even
not
for
anything
humans.
anyone was doing.
Even for humans, yeah.
Oh yeah, listen, now I've probably had 3 clients in that, I had a kidney transplant. I'm
Right.
like, it's
It's like
like
a heart
you know,
transplant now. Like, yeah.
yeah, right.
Now, Dr. Rusty, I know this is tough. It's like Sophie's story. What is your favorite, most inspiring story from your book?
Oh, I could never pick one, I'm telling you.
Well, he's the author.
I know.
It is really tough because to me, and those just touch on a few of the stories. There's so many other stories that I've written that haven't been told. And I think almost every person I was interviewing, at some point I got chill bumps just listening to the story, whether it was from a happiness or from a sadness or from whatever. Some of the I'll just mention a few because I don't want to single one out, but these are just the ones that pop in my mind. There's a lady, a dear friend of mine who also has passed away from cancer. Her name is Connie. Connie had a lot of loss in her life in a very short period of time. Her son, her youngest son, was murdered. She lost a grandchild, her son, mother and grandmother, all in a relatively short period of time. Plus, she ended up having a serious auto accident and injured. But anyway, on top of all that, she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And so the ovarian cancer actually happened before those things happened. But when her son died, she decided to do something in his honor. And she remembers him when they would go downtown to go to a restaurant for lunch or dinner. He would always bring something out to give to a homeless person, some kind of food. Mm-hmm. And many of those homeless people had pets. And so one evening they were driving home. They hadn't been down there, but they, I don't know where they were, but they had gone out to get a pizza, and they were headed home with the pizza. And Christian, her son, said, "Mom, let's pull over and give this homeless person the pizza." And she's like, "Well, wait, that's my pizza." But
that's
they
breakfast.
did. And because he also had 3 rescue dogs, and he loved helping homeless people, when he passed away, well, the first year she hardly could do anything. I mean, because it was just so awful. But she finally, got the strength and all that to do something. And she co-founded something called Faithful Forgotten Best Friends, which is an organization that started off by just providing pet food. I shouldn't say just. Started providing pet food for the homeless and low income. And then that advanced to where they started providing veterinary care to homeless and low income. And we got involved in that program in 2016, and we continued in that program until the pandemic, when we felt like it was too risky, not for us, but for the people that we were maybe going in to see.
Yeah.
We still are involved with them, but not directly. We serve as a referral in our Spectrum of Care clinic, and we have a program that we can help offset the costs for those people, and it gives our students an opportunity to see and do things that they might not otherwise see or get to do. But the other part of this story, and she reappears in book 2, their dog at one point would come up to her and just like put her nose right up in her lower abdomen. Repeatedly.
Oh.
And it was only after she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, because once she had surgery and had that removed and went on chemo, and she was in remission for 14 years, the dog never did that again.
Stopped, yeah.
So we know that there is the ability for dogs to detect cancer as well as many other things, which that's all in book 2 as well. So that's an interesting piece to it. The other one I'll just say is there's a lady named Sally Malloret, and she adopted a dog named Max, who was basically rescued, pulled him, I mean, probably a minute later, and he'd have been going to a not a good place. And he lived for several years, and she made about 350 visits to hospitals, schools, and other things as a therapy dog. And this dog was not trained when she got it, so she put it through all the training, got it certified, all that stuff. Then Max dies, and some time went by, and then she decided that they were going to rescue another dog, and that was Fiona. And Fiona was part Great Pyrenees and part Golden Retriever. I know Alice would like that part.
Lot of hair.
Beautiful,
Lot of
beautiful, kind dog. But that dog didn't have any training, so she put it through that training. Sally and Fiona made over 1,000 visits. Actually, it was 1,005 visits to high school and junior high and other facilities. And I actually went and visited on the 1,000th visit to the high school, and I could just see the presence of the two of them just the calmness came over the kids, and they'd come in and pet and talk, and so then Fiona got sick, and actually ended up most likely having a gastric or other intestinal perforation, based upon the signs and all the other things. And so I went over to the hospital and basically spent time with her, reassuring her she was making the right decision.
Yeah,
And
right.
so that she euthanized Fiona, which was very difficult for her. And then I went to my first ever dog funeral. It was at a funeral home, one of the Schevinger funeral homes. It was a beautiful event.
Yes.
And it was well attended, like well.
Wow.
So if you think about all the kids and others that dog had helped along the way. So the good news is, because she says, I don't think I can ever get another dog. I said, Sally, just give it a little time. I think you can. So she now has another dog. It's half Great Pyrenees, and it might be half Golden Retriever. He just got him again from Kentucky. I think it was Kentucky. It might have been Tennessee. She's probably had him 2 weeks.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, did you know that Blue Buffalo makes prescription diets that are formulated by animal nutritionists and veterinarians? And they're used for dietary needs such as kidney support, gastrointestinal support, weight management, and our favorite, allergy and skin problems.
They make a food allergic diet that's an alligator based called NP, or a hydrolyzed salmon based for dogs and cats called HF.
So please ask your veterinarian about Blue Buffalo prescription diets.
Hi everyone, I'm Larry. Some of you know me as Grandpa Larry, and I run Larry's Animal Safari on YouTube, where we share sweet and educational videos about baby gorillas, zoo animals, and the amazing teams who care for them. If you love animals of all kinds, I'd love to have you join us. You'll meet little ones like Jamila and Kayembe, learn how zoo families grow, and enjoy real moments that bring joy and curiosity to animal lovers everywhere. Just search Larry's Animal Safari on YouTube, or click the link in the show notes. New videos go up weekly, and each one supports awareness for animal care and conservation. Thanks to Speaking of Pets podcast for all they do. Now, let's get back to the show.
You know, I have to tell you, Rusty, that was one of my favorite. I think that's the one I got teary-eyed on when Bob died. Honest to God, that was one of my favorite stories in the book. I also love how elderly people, the gentleman that was like 300 and some pounds and got a dog, and his weight came down because you got to walk the dog. You got to get up and feed the dog. It's not all about you anymore. You have a responsibility. And I love those stories where it really transforms the human's life.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the thing of the dog rescued the human as opposed to the human rescued the dog.
The first half hour of my morning is literally opening the door in and out for 2 cats and a dog. The first
And
half
food
hour.
preparation. And that's what I wanted to ask Rusty. You know, I was preparing their food this morning and the 15-year-old cat's
Yeah, but
food. And I
you're
thought,
elaborate with the food.
I know. I've got to ask Rusty because he's got those 3 schnauzers. Okay, what's dog food preparation like at your house? They can't be on the same diet. I know they're not.
So you're correct, Alice. The 3 dogs are not on the same diet. Teddy is on a prescription diet for his kidneys because he has protein-losing nephropathy.
Right.
Travis is on a biome diet that has fiber and other things because he, I don't know, probably 6 months ago started messing up in the house, almost like it was urgent, like he had this urgency. Yeah. And so thankfully that did it. That has gone away. And then good. Tucker, the young one, he's just on a good quality maintenance young adult diet.
Do you have to feed them separately so they don't get into each other's bowls?
No.
Travis and Teddy's bowls are right beside each other in one of those little holders.
Yeah.
They never go to each other's bowl. Tucker is just over a little bit from him. He's done like that. I mean, he gulps.
Same here. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they run to their kennel and wait for their dental treat in the morning, or they run to the kennel for something else in the evening.
I think when home builders are building now, they need to do a dog kitchen with dog cupboards because everything's on the counter. The chewy treats, I've got Annie's sitting here now, my allergic one. I've got her, Rusty, on the transdermal immunotherapy, which is something new instead of shots or oral liquid. So that's on the counter. I mean, we need like a dog kitchen.
So we have a big tin, like trash can, but cute.
Yeah.
And that's in the laundry room. But in it has the scoop, right? But it has that squirty stuff. What's that called?
Oh, the omega-3s.
The omega-3 and the pills, the arthritis pills, whatever they are. So in the morning you do 2 scoops and the bottle's in there, squirt, squirt, and the pills.
Oh, look at you.
Look at us. But her treats are in the snack cupboard with our snacks. So when you go in the snack cupboard, she's like, "You in there?"
Well, let me tell you about a little bit more about the routine for us. So Eddie and Travis are also on pimobendan because they have mitral valve disease. So they have to get that 30 minutes before they eat.
Oh boy, time constraints.
Then Teddy in the morning also gets, I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically an anticoagulant because they think he might have, back a couple years ago, he was having these really weird episodes where he'd just stare into space and be confused and real.
Clopidogrel?
Yes,
is it
thank you.
clopidogrel?
Yeah. Is that like a blood thinner?
Yeah.
Look at me.
I thought you didn't. You said you weren't any a specialist.
No, but I know Coumadin because my mom was on it forever, and I was going to name a dog Coumadin because I was.
And then you were on an injectable blood thinner, remember, in your stomach.
Me?
Who?
No,
Janet.
Janet.
No, I don't
I was
remember
never
that.
on an injectable blood thinner.
Oh well, somebody I know was on it. Okay, never mind.
No.
So the clopidogrel.
Yeah,
Go on,
and
Russ.
then because Tucker has seasonal flank alopecia.
Right. My neck of the woods.
He
Oh, so
gets
Eric offered to tell me.
melatonin twice a day in his food.
Yeah.
And then finally, in the evening, Tucker, I shouldn't say finally, in the evening, Teddy also gets the liquid medication for his protein-losing nephropathy for his kidneys. Telmisartan. And then around 7 o'clock, the two with the cataracts, which were born with cataracts, Kit and Travis, ever since we've had them, they get eye drops in the evening. They actually come over to us and say, okay, it's time. And they come over and, get up on whichever one of us is giving them. We sit in a chair. They put their front paws on our knees. They reach their head back, squirt, squirt. They run to their kennel for their next treat.
Oh,
I was going to say, I bet a treat is involved with those eye drops.
High
that's
value
what you have to
treat.
do.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I'm
I'm just amazed because Daddy James has a lot of work to do when you're traveling.
And even
Like
when
with
I'm
your-
not.
That's right. Because you got a lot of evening activities that you've got to go to. So do you have treatment sheets like we had in ICU? So
No, and he knows it better than I do. Sometimes if I haven't done it for like one of them, I say, now does he get this in the evening or in the morning?
When we
see, there you go.
Our neighbor takes care of the 2 cats and the dog, and we go on vacation. They stay here, and then the neighbor comes over. And I describe Isabel the cat. I'll write, the one with the good eyeliner. Because she has like,
Oh, yeah, right.
eyeliner. And my husband's like, why don't you put a picture on the page? And I'm like, because any woman would know which cat has the good eyeliner, right?
Right, right.
It's very
But that's important that you say that because, Rusty, with your 3 dogs and my 2
Yeah.
Goldens, people come over and say, which one is this?
Yeah.
And I get it. We're around them all the time. So you get to know the little idiosyncrasies. But really, it's 3 Schnauzers or 2 Goldens. Janet, you had 2 Goldens. And which one
Nobody
is that?
knew which one was which.
Well,
No.
to start with
and
Teddy
one
and
was darker than
Travis, Teddy had a red collar, and Ted rhymes with red,
Oh, there you
the
go.
Teal for
and
Teddy.
Travis had blue. And then we got Tucker, and he initially had a black collar, but he is also transitioned. Well, when he goes out in the yard with his invisible fence collar, he also has a blue collar. But when we go anywhere with a harness or anything, it's a black.
Blue Buffalo natural veterinary diets offer a natural alternative in nutritional therapy. With their in-house research and development team with over 300 years experience in well, pet, and veterinary therapeutic diets, more than 600 scientific publications, and more than 50 U.S. patents. Blue Buffalo, natural veterinary diets.
Hi everyone, I'm Larry. Some of you know me as Grandpa Larry. And I run Larry's Animal Safari on YouTube, where we share sweet and educational videos about baby gorillas, zoo animals, and the amazing teams who care for them. If you love animals of all kinds, I'd love to have you join us. You'll meet little ones like Jamila and Kayembe, learn how zoo families grow, and enjoy real moments that bring joy and curiosity to animal lovers everywhere. Just search Larry's Animal Safari on YouTube, or click the link in the show notes. New videos go up weekly, and each one supports awareness for animal care and conservation. Thanks to Speaking of Pets podcast for all they do. Now, let's get back to the show.
So I want to hear more about your cow and the orphan calf.
Oh, that might bring up bad memories, Jan.
No, it's good. I mean,
Okay.
what do you want me to just repeat the story?
Well, just tell us the story so our listeners are want to read the book.
Well, that was like the initial inspiration for your animal love.
It was one of
wasn't
my
it?
early experiences with animals. Of course, I had a menagerie of them at the time, but it was my first cow, and I had bought her when she was a heifer, a yearling. She was a Hereford, and she was then bred and was pregnant and was due to calve in the summer of 1977.
And where did you grow up? Where
In
was
the
cow?
hills of Appalachia in West Virginia.
Yep, been there.
And so anyway, she was supposed to calve that summer, I think July. And I was at a week-long basketball camp. It was a day camp, so I'd be back and forth. And so the day must have been the last day, because there was an award ceremony, and I got the Hustle Award, not because I had any talent at all. I just worked hard. And so anyway, on my way, I was, you're happy when you're that age, but and so you're sort of on cloud nine. You're going home. Your mom's driving the car. I walked in the house, and I just knew something was wrong. I could just tell from the way my dad was looking, and then he said, "Your cow had her calf today." And just for a second, I had a little glimmer of hope. And then shortly after that, he said it was a difficult birth. The calf didn't make it. So, a 12-year-old, I was feeling guilty and upset and all that. But so it must have been a Thursday, actually, because the stockyard sales were always on Fridays. So the next day, I went to the stockyard and happened to find an orphan day-old bull calf. So I purchased it, not knowing whether she would accept it or not, but she did, and she raised that calf just like it was her own. So it's sort of one of those, okay, you have this emotional high, and then you have this, you're in the basement or in the valley.
Yeah.
And then you get the calf, and then you see her take it, and it's sort of,
It's a lot.
and for someone at that age, I think it really started to prepare me for how good things and bad things sometimes go hand in hand, and you sort of have to, navigate through that. But, there's a picture of that cow and a picture of that calf in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And that cow took right to that calf, huh? Isn't that something?
Yeah,
That's pretty
a lot of
cool.
times they'll do that. Many times not first calf, heifers, the first time they have
Yeah.
one, but she did, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a great story. Now, Alice, I know you have some questions about the book.
Oh, well, look at all the stuff. I love
with
that.
stickies.
Those are stickies. I love that when you would ask people the question of when you think about your pet, what's the first word that comes? And love was
Yep.
undoubtedly the number one response?
Absolutely.
I mean, there were a lot
It
of
is.
different words, but the one that was most consistent at around 30% was love. But there were other words like friend and confidant and family and But the interesting thing, they all were really around feelings or thoughts.
Yeah.
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 The
I will say our Libby, who's a golden, she's a rescue. She has jobs, Rusty. She
Oh,
goes
yeah.
out with me in the morning, and it started the first day she was here. We get the Times delivered, and it's in a blue bag. And she waits because we have the electric fence. She waits, goes in her mouth. She comes up, she gets a treat. I mean, she did it from day one, not knowing she was going to get a treat. And then I'll go to the mailbox later. Thank God there's always a piece of junk mail because she brings that up. And then when people come to the house, it's who's here? And she goes out to greet them, walks them up. And then when they're leaving, could you walk them out? And she walks them out. I mean, it's like she has jobs. She's a very important part of our family.
Well, and I was telling you about the emotional stories and the veterinary stuff, but there's a lot of science in here too. And I loved, Janet, you'll love this, the love hormone oxytocin.
Yep.
There was a little brief paragraph in there, Rusty, that I loved that, well, I should let you tell it, about when people are eye to eye with their dog as opposed to eye with their pet wolf. Would you explain that?
Oh.
This is fascinating. And
Yeah,
pet.
so, we know when we gaze into the eyes of our pets, dogs and cats actually, or we stroke them by petting them, we have an increase in release of oxytocin. We also have a release of dopamine and serotonin. And we have a decrease in cortisol, and some of those same hormonal changes occur in the actual pet, and they've shown that. We also know if you go into a room and you're sitting there in a room alone, and then they bring a pet in, your heart rate and your blood pressure will go down as you're holding that animal. And there's so much more and more science coming out. The Human Animal Bond Research Institute is a fabulous organization that
We've had them on the show.
Good. Did you have
Hadley.
Steve
Yes.
Feldman?
Yes.
I just was on a Zoom call with him like right before this.
I think they're the ones that have the hysterical, super professional commercials. It's just, oh my God.
Yeah, the
And
pet
initially
effect.
that was, I think some of that was
Yeah.
sponsored by Zoetis, I believe.
Yes,
early
you're
on.
right.
There's some, I don't know if you've seen the one with the cat playing the piano. You've got to look that up.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh.
The
I don't
cat's
wanna hit- I
playing
don't
the
wanna hit
piano, and it's all about, in the end, instead of adopt an animal, it's adopt a human.
Oh,
It is hilarious.
They have really good information about the human bond, the like you said, the heart rate and all that stuff. It's fascinating. It's a really good website.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so the oxytocin does go up. And actually, oxytocin and those same hormonal things occur not just with pets. I mean, or your own pet. It could go up if you go walk a dog, you go visit your family who has a dog, you go walk a dog at a shelter. There's many ways people can get the benefit of the pet without having to own one, because some people can't own one,
Right.
partner restriction.
Right.
And that's a whole nother chapter in the book around pet-friendly or pet-inclusive housing, or pet-friendly or inclusive businesses, or pet-friendly cities. And what we need to make sure is that public housing and rental housing is pet-friendly or pet-inclusive, and there is a difference. Most of the time, pets do not damage apartments.
No.
Kids do. But yet
Yep.
there's a down payment if you have a dog.
Yeah.
And so, or there's
And
weight
hotels, too.
restrictions.
Yep.
The other really sad thing is most homeless shelters do not allow pets, and still I would say the majority of women's domestic violence shelters don't allow pets. Women won't leave a domestic violence situation unless somehow they can get their dog or cat taken care of. And so Fortunately, there are some, and we have one here in Columbus called Choices, and there's actually a kennel on site, and
Wow.
that we have not we, but people in the community, some of the shelter, some of the dog and cat facilities help in terms of caring for them when they're in those situations. For a long time here in Columbus, between the Columbus Humane and the College of Veterinary Medicine and the Women's Penitentiary in Marysville, there's a program called Safe Haven. And dogs or cats from these domestic violence situations, they will be cared for in the short term at the women's prison with medical care provided by, depending on whether if it's emergent and after hours, it's us. If not, it's the shelter. And then when the woman or the family gets back on their feet, they reunite the animal.
Wow.
What a wonderful program.
That's been going
In
on
the
for
book,
20 years.
In the book, was it Dr. Amy Acton that said Columbus should be the dog city of
the pet
America?
capital of the country.
That's right. And I kept reading it, and I'm like, wow, yes, it should be because of all the accolades going on.
I agree. And do you all know Amy Acton?
I don't know. I know of her because of COVID. We saw her on TV here in Ohio all the time.
Amy Acton was Governor DeWine's director of the Department of Health, and was so calming to people talking about the pandemic. Well, she was, when I say attacked, I don't mean physically, but attacked verbally.
It was horrible.
Partly because of the decisions she made, partly because she's Jewish. It was just
Oh, I did not know that.
She is the kindest, sweetest person. She is a huge animal advocate. She has dogs. I mean, one of her dogs is actually in the book, Winnie.
The Yorkie.
Winnie.
The
He had
Yorkie.
a heart issue that we managed for a long time before he passed. There's a picture of her son with his dog, and then her with the dog. I don't know. She's an MD and has a master's in public health.
Oh, wow.
She actually was homeless at one point. So she,
living in a tent. I
she
read
really
that.
gets, because she's lived it.
Yeah.
She told me when she was growing up, two things saved her: her pets and public libraries.
Yep.
Oh, God bless her. How true is that?
Because they're welcome. Yep.
Wow. And she's running for office.
She's running for governor.
Governor,
on the
isn't she? Yeah,
Well,
she's running for
and let's think back to COVID. Like, nobody knew what was going on. How
Right.
could you be right in any situation?
Because, Janet, no matter what, people will express their opinion, however crazy it is, based on nothing.
Yeah.
So I would see her on TV, and I thought, what a calm person, and so knowledgeable too. What's interesting about that, Rusty, is she's so calm, and she owned a terrier.
Yeah, I don't think she goes for designer breeds. I think she also takes rescues.
Good. Glad to hear it. Yeah.
That's his.
But finish the story about the oxytocin and the pet wolves, because I think that's fascinating.
Well,
about how they would not look you in the eye.
yeah, I'm trying to remember because there was I'm getting the fox's story mixed up too.
Oh yeah, that came after the wolf story. See, I know.
Yeah. So wild animals in general, I mean, they're not going to look you in the eye. I mean, just because of fear. And certainly at a zoo or wherever you don't want to look them in the eye because it makes them nervous. And so wolves being wild, although dogs are descendants of them, and it just goes to show over time how the domestication process has evolved. And right now I've seen some articles recently where we're in a new phase of the evolution of dogs. So that would be an interesting topic to talk about.
Speaking of,
Yes.
It's because the other one came over to be petted, and this one has to be the
So
boss.
is that a golden?
Yeah.
Yes,
This is Annie. She's an Amish
okay.
rescue. She's a small golden. I think she wasn't a good producer, so they got rid of her when she was 1. And then Gidget she's a China rescue. You can't see her because she's not as limber.
Yeah.
Get down.
but she's also, Alice's Goldens are on the more like the a darker
Yeah.
red.
Okay.
Yeah, they're dark.
So the other story, which we don't need to go into, is about they bred foxes and progressively through breeding and not natural selection, through selected breeding, worked toward domesticating them
For temperament.
and
Yeah.
there's certain species that you can tame, but you can't domesticate. And there's less than 20 truly domesticated animals. I think the number is 16.
Isn't that fascinating? I mean, that out of, what was it, like 40,000 species? Some huge number like that. There's only that many that are domesticated.
Alice, I just wrote the book. I don't remember all those details.
I love details. Listen, I was the only one in the Durham College when we were taking our boards. The last question was, what is the name of the substance that makes a flea jump? It's called resilient or something like that. And I was like, and people were like, what is she doing? I mean, but I remember little stuff like that. It's crazy.
As a pharmacist, you sort of have to remember all those little things.
Well, I don't know about that, but Janet, I want to tell you in the book what Rusty says about domestication. Zebras can't do it. They're crazy. They're wild.
Yeah.
They have attitude.
This is another thing I just learned that's not in the book, but there was a study done where they took black cows and they put white vertical stripes all over their body like a zebra.
No. Who did this?
I'd
What
have to
university?
look it up. But there was a 50% reduction in the number of biting flies that landed on them. So they think part of that is a natural thing to prevent fly bites.
Wow.
Wow. I wonder if I could do that with the no-see-ums in Florida to myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you should
I have
try
some.
it and take pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Right
No,
now
listen.
I use that Ranger Ready stuff.
Ready. With Picard in there.
That's
this
my
morning. I was listening to our podcast that dropped today with Mona Rutger. She runs Back to the Wild. It's in Castalia, Rusty. And Janet, I missed this the first time. She said when they are working with wild animals, like squirrels and things, she said we never smile because
Yes,
wild
she said
animals
that.
see that as big teeth coming at me, prey. Seriously.
No, unless I can take my dentures out.
Oh, God. TMI.
Well, wait.
But can I?
We have coyotes. I live kind of in the woods. We have a coyote, and our neighbors, we all in text will say coyote over, the McGillicuddies or whoever that. And I'm concerned because we have the 2 cats, right?
Right.
But nothing's happened yet. Knock on wood. So the other day, Donald and I are in the car, and I see it come into the neighbor's yard, and I put my window down, and it's acting like it's the boss, right? And I go, hey, yo, using Alice's words, yo. One of your favorite words, Alice. I went, hey, yo, yo. And that thing went, whoa, and turned and ran.
It was your teeth.
No,
it was the teeth.
I scared the crap out of that
You have to
coyote.
speak up. I couldn't hear part of what you said. That
Poor Duke. Poor Duke, our producer. He's got his work cut out for him on this
Alice's favorite word, especially after 2 rum and cokes.
one. Okay, but I don't drink anymore. But here's the other thing I was thinking. I read this really good book about a turtle rescue group in the Northeast, out by you, Janet, like Massachusetts, around in there. And do you know, a lot of the turtle rescuers are former drug addicts or former abused people, but they're very serious and they rarely smile. And I thought, and the turtles, they have this emotional bond with them. I'm wondering about that teeth thing now.
No, but turtles, when you think about it, they don't like look you in the eye. They're kind of like.
Oh, no, they do. I love turtles.
Really?
They're very.
You have to lay on your belly,
there's
though, so that you can look into their eyes.
I know. Poor Mike will be driving and I'll yell, "Turtle!" And he knows he better pull over. And he never pulls over soon enough.
Well, he does pull over. It's terrifying. When you
Well, he does, but I pull right over.
Yes.
And I know exactly where those emergency blinkers are. And he's like, "Where are the emergency blinkers?" I'm like,
and then she's got like a whole kit and caboodle in the back to go take care of the turtle.
I have anything and everything. Stuff for snapping turtles, big snow shovel.
So what did you think of the two stories, the one about the snapping turtle and the one about the mallard ducks?
Oh.
The duck story made me cry. Because, the snapping turtles, I'm telling you, the turtle rescue group, when someone, like I saw when I was walking at the park the other day, a snapping turtle was laying its eggs. Well, they leave them then. And then the raccoons come, and the next morning, all the shells are all over.
Uh-huh.
If I would call these people in Massachusetts, they come and get those eggs and incubate them.
Yeah.
So a lot of people hate snapping turtles, and I get it. They're real primitive, and they eat little ducklings and stuff, but they still want to live like everybody else.
Well, and, it's all about ecosystem balance.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'll tell you who's not nice. We have wild turkeys. They are mean, all in capitals, mean.
Really? We have a family in the back, but they don't ever, it's just her.
Like you're driving your car and they're like, "I'm not moving."
Oh, why are
we
they in the
got
road?
A whole flock. Oh, they're all over town.
You sure they're not Canada geese?
I know the difference because we have those. We have a pond. We have that. We have geese. We have swans here. Swans.
Yeah, geese will come after you. I've not seen a turkey go after anyone.
They don't go after you, but they're like bold. Like,
oh well, you exaggerate. You're thinking they're going to go after you.
We have swans, giant swans here in the river.
What color is the bill?
Orange.
Okay.
So not black.
What does that tell me? I don't. Right. I'm going to look next time. But they have a big body.
Because there's trumpeter swans, and then there's the ones that were imported from Europe.
We have trumpeter, because I've heard someone tell me that.
I thought they had black beaks. No, I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
I keep forgetting which one's the orange and which one's the black, because in Ohio, the one with the one type of beak, they won't save them because they wipe out marshes.
Trumpeters have black, so we must have black ones.
Okay.
And they're big and they're pretty mean.
Yeah, I've heard swans are not nice. Yeah.
Yeah, real quick, the snapping turtle thing. I was out walking one summer evening in my neighborhood and happened to sort of coming down over this hill down into this little valley. It was a subdivision road. It wasn't a main highway. And as I was coming down, I saw this car parked in the middle of the street. And there were these two people out in the middle of the street, and I just, as I walked, I said, I wonder what they're doing. And when I got there, I saw this snapping turtle, and they've been trying for a long time to get it out.
This is good, Janet. You'll love this. Road,
because they care about animals. And I said, "Oh, what do you do?" And they said, "Oh, we're trying to get this out of the road." I said, "Okay, let me help you." And so I sort of.
No, you got your cape, and you said, "Excuse me, I'm the dean."
No.
He never does that.
No, quite the opposite. And so
after
I got this out of the road, they said, "Oh, where do you live?" I said, "I live over there." And they said, "Oh," I said, "My name's Rustin." And they said, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'm a veterinarian. And they said, "Oh, we're big dog lovers and blah, blah, blah." And, "Oh, where do you work?" "I work at Ohio State." "Oh, well, we come there with our dogs and we love it. That's our go-to place." "Well, what do you do there?"
Oh, no.
I'm an administrator there.
You have to pull it out of him. I swear to God.
Well, what exactly do you administrate? So I tell him.
Good
and
for them.
We chatted, and then, we stayed in touch. And over time, we've gotten together time to time. One time actually in Sarasota where they go in the winter. Heidi Ward is
Yeah.
their veterinarian down there.
Yes, and she's in Hawaii right now. But okay, yes.
So anyway, this story of this turtle in this situation is in the chapter called Giving Bonds, because they have become donors. They have an endowed
I was going
scholarship.
to guess.
And my thing is always to say, never let a chance encounter go. Never let it get away.
Absolutely.
We never talked about anything about money or any of that for probably 2 years. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
And you know what? And it was a snapping turtle that's helping the university.
Yes.
Think about that. I mean, that really, it goes, I'm telling you, that is like the perfect title, because it can take a little 5-pound Yorkie or 20-pound snapping. How big was that snapper, by the way?
Oh, it was.
the fish was this big.
It was probably a foot in
Yeah.
across diameter.
Yeah. I have to tell you this story, Rusty. One day when we were in Sanibel, I help out CROW, which is Clinic for the Rehabilitation of Wildlife. So we have red tide, which is a brevetoxin. It's a neurotoxin. And it's horrible. Every year, I'll walk the beach and I call Mike, bring the box, bring the beach towel. There's some we got to take to CROW. So we're walking, we go take the dogs out for a walk, and we live in a development, with a cul-de-sac and stuff. And there is a cormorant just paddling, walking up the middle of the street, which is not natural. So he probably had some brevetoxin. So this was Thanksgiving Day, and it was 2 minutes to 5. And so CROW they were closed. So he spent the night, that's right, he spent the night we have like big storage rooms under the house, for tools and stuff. So he spent the night there. So I get up the next morning to take him to CROW. I open the door and he's like, hey, like ready to go. And he did well, because, Rusty, they're using IV lipocin to displace that neurotoxin. They're going through intralipid like crazy at these places. Janet, it's an IV of a fatty solution.
How do you stick that into a bird? Like, how do you make the bird sit?
Well, they can they can do a wing catheter. Yeah. Actually, the fun part is when you have to put medication in a pelican, because you have to stop your arm from going, because they have that,
that thing, that pouch. What are you hiding in there?
I know. Well, sadly, a lot of times it's fish hooks, but don't get me started on that,
But you know what I learned on Sanibel, one of those nature tours, is they only weigh like 3 or 4 pounds.
Yeah, they don't weigh a lot.
Because they go in the branches, and the branch hardly falls down. It's really interesting.
And I love how they have the web feet and they're still up on those branches. I'm like, how they do that?
Try putting some flippers on, like swimming flippers. Try that and see how it works.
Right. One time one was listing in the water and I could see the blood on the side of it. And Mike and I were just walking, and he took his shirt off and waded in there and put it around. And it was so sweet because its little web feet were on his arm like this. It was the sweetest thing. That one didn't make it. I don't know if it was shot or what. Shooting something in Sanibel is like a mortal sin.
Wait, Mike has to pull over. Mike has to pull over, take his shirt off, wade into the water.
No, we were walking on the beach. We were walking on the beach because, as you know, there's nowhere to park in Sanibel to go to the beach. Right. But I digress.
Well, Alice, we got to wrap it up.
I know, our favorite guest. All right, now one more time. We'll have a link to it. Unleashing the Bond. This is the first. It's going to come out. Unlocking the Bond is our next Christmas gift for you, Janet.
Yeah, it's available paperback, hardback, ebook, and also in sometime probably in early September there will be an audiobook.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
Well, it was an interesting process with this company. They allowed me to. What you do is you upload a couple pages of your book. So I uploaded a page with the dogs talking and a page with me talking from the book. I had 57 people submit auditions. I narrowed it down to 14 to 9 to 5 to 3 to 1. And the one I chose, not because of this, but because of the voice and the ability to do it. And I think to capture the emotion that's in the story, he's a veterinarian.
No.
Oh.
And you didn't
I
even
knew
know
it
that.
when I got down to like the top 3.
Is he doing this
Yeah.
on the side? This is the first veterinarian I've heard.
No, he's a full-time veterinarian in
gig.
Oklahoma.
I'll be darned.
So you had, like, I know it was on Facebook because I did your survey. You surveyed people about the cover, I think.
The cover, yeah.
Was it the cover? Did you get a good response? That was really cool. I
love the cover.
Yes. So basically, I was allowed to come up with 3 covers, and I talked to the designers with 2 ideas, and then they said, "Do you give us artistic permission to come up with a 3rd one for you to consider?" And I said, "Of course." And so I went with theirs. Now I tweaked it because
that's my favorite. I love
because
that.
originally
I love that.
the person had their hand on the chin of the dog.
Oh,
And I
that's
wanted
right.
the palm or the paw, and I
Yeah.
wanted them to be looking into the eyes,
No.
and I wanted a cat there, and
Yeah.
then I
Yeah.
wanted a horse,
That's
and there's a horse on the back. And if you don't have the hard copy, there's a little boy and his calf,
Oh, I love
and that should
That would be
you
you.
got a copy from me with a bookmark in it, right? So
Yeah.
the calf is on the back of the bookmark,
Yep, there it is.
and the book.
Wow.
That's-
And you know, I know this sounds silly, but when I opened it and the bookmark fell out, I love a bookmark because I hate to dog ear, quote unquote, no pun intended, the pages. I'm one of those people that love a bookmark. I know it's silly.
Well, actually,
But-
bookmarks are really good for marketing purposes.
Well, if you know, if you
There you
if
go.
you look on the back of there's a QR code at the top that takes you to Amazon where you can either purchase or leave a review. And there's one. The second one goes to my personal website.
Well, thank you. This is, congrats on the book, on the launch. This is exciting. Are you going on a circuit? Like,
Yeah, are you going on? I'm trying to get him to do the Hudson Library where we saw.
I was thinking Friends with Jenna or Jenna and Friends. I'm thinking big.
Oh yes, Jenna Bush.
Yeah.
I'm open to
Wow.
whatever just to raise awareness about the human-animal
Yeah.
bond. I've had 2 book signings, one here, one in Korea.
Yeah.
I have one tomorrow evening that extends.
Columbus?
That extends into Friday morning. It's a conference, and I may have one at AVMA in DC in a couple of weeks. But
cool.
any opportunities that you think of or have any connections for either signings or podcasts or whatever, I think this is a universal topic that
Oh,
would be of
absolutely.
interest to
Yeah.
a whole array of people.
Janet, after each chapter, the boys, Travis, Teddy, and Tucker, make comments. That was one of my favorite parts.
That's adorable.
Yeah, they have a thing at the beginning. It's called a beginning note from Teddy, Travis, and Tucker, and then at
Yes,
the end they have a
yes.
parting note from Teddy, Travis, and Tucker.
Yes,
And
they do.
Just yelling, Teddy, Travis, Tucker, get over here.
And no, most of it's a spoof on me. A lot of it is. It's like,
True.
He
I
takes
would
pictures of us at the most inopportune times, like when we're napping. Or we just do this because we know we're going to get a morsel of his food.
I know it.
Well, Rusty, I have to tell you, we walked Libby, our golden, and it was hot. It was like close to 90 degrees and really humid. And we did 3 miles, and we're at the end, and there's this. We didn't know it was this deep. There's this puddle, and she goes in, and it's up to here on her.
Oh
And
my
she-
God.
Oh yeah, I sent you pictures, Alice.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a
In
puddle.
the middle of the road, and Donald has the leash, and she immediately goes down, and you saw her whole face went, oh. Like, I think it was
Wow.
just too hot for her.
I
And
know
then we
yeah.
took
you all
another third
are
of a
on
mile.
time, and I'm actually supposed to be at a
Oh, you gotta
town
go.
with our
We're out.
school, so
Okay,
thank
over
you
and
so
out.
much.
Over and out.
Bye-bye.
See
Congrats
you.
on the book.
Bye. Hey, thanks, Dr. Moore. We always love having you on the show. Dean of the College of Veterinary Medicine at Ohio State, dog dad to Travis, Tucker, and Teddy, and author to one of my new favorite books, Unleashing the Bond. It's available on Amazon. You'll love it. You'll learn a lot. You'll cry a little bit, but you'll also get some good veterinary advice, which is, I love that part of it. So Janet, let's wrap it up. This is Dr. Alice Novotny-Jeroman from Cleveland, Ohio, and
Janet Novotny-King from Cleveland, Ohio, saying thanks for listening. Give your pets extra biscuits for us and an extra hug. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in today. We hope you learned some valuable information about making decisions about your pet's health.
And don't forget to follow us on social media and subscribe on podcasts, because we love to have those likes. Thanks so much for listening.
That's actually really good.
Oh,
you could both go bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, yeah.
How about woof woof?
This episode of Speaking of Pets podcast was sponsored by Blue Buffalo Veterinary Diets. Love them like family, feed them like family.
Follow us on social at Speaking of Pets and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
The Speaking of Pets podcast is an SLA video production.